And if you haven't tuned in to our live show yet, Dr. Paul from Liberty Hill Comics, Phantom Phil from Phantom Restorations, and myself, we have a live chat. We take your questions, we answer as many as we possibly can, and we try to choose interesting topics for the evening to talk about regarding comic conservation, preservation, and restoration. So please join us.
Okay, we've come to our reassembly part. As you know, this is my least favorite thing I do. Putting the staples back in is very difficult, very time consuming. Now, I've pre-aligned all the pages using the same method I used before. We just use a fiberboard from Office Depot. And the wraps are flat. They've been pressed flat on purpose, and we're going to create a new spine after we get the staples inserted. So the cover wrap has been reinforced. The inside interior anchor wrap, the very last wrap, has also been reinforced from the back side. I've used pins to align the staple holes so we don't stretch them or tear them. Now, let's go ahead and cover the way we reinsert the staples. Same way we took them out. So, because the main thing is we don't want to tear the paper. So I keep the proper orientation on the staples. I have not cleaned them. I just these staples are great. They've got awesome patinas. So what I'm going to do is very carefully remove the staples from the bottom. I'll leave the top in to keep the alignment. Now, from the underside, I'm going to align the. So remember, we're going in. We're going to put it in, then we're going to at a 90-degree angle, so this way, then we're going to rotate it that way and reinsert it. So I just feed it through the pinholes that we've made already. There's the first one. Now, I've got it standing up on edge, as you can see. I'm going to rotate this to make it easier for me to work. And again, we'll lift up the book so I can work on it from underneath. And we're going to rotate the staple in and not tear the hole. Now just kind of feel for the tip. There it is. Okay. So that staple's in there. It looks nice. We didn't tear anything, which is the most important part. All right. So here's the critical part. Now that this is in, this is aligned, we're going to go ahead and pull the other pins out so we can flip the book. Now keep my finger on this staple. We'll roll it over. And here it is in the back side. See if I can move it up to the camera so you can see. You know, there's no tears in the paper, which is that's the cardinal sin. So we're looking good here. So I'm going to go ahead and align everything. And I'm looking for, here it is, my favorite tool, one of my favorite tools. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and I want to support the staple so it stays vertical. And there's some old marks here on this page, so I'm going to kind of aim this bottom staple so it lines up perfectly in there. So I also noticed when I fold it up, the staple's got this curve up here. So what I'm going to do in this case, see, it's kind of like got that up angle, probably from prying at it. So I'm just going to wiggle it up just a hair, and then I'm going to take my tweezers, my tip here, and I'm going to slip it right under the edge here. And now I'm going to push it over and make a little bit of an arch to this staple. So it's pushed in to the paper like it should originally have been. Just like that. Slip this out. Then I'll use my nice Teflon tool. I'll push that down right where it needs to be. And that's the way it's done. So now I'm going to take and put this over the top of this, and we're going to carefully do the same thing over here. Now this one doesn't have that upward angle, so now we have our staples pushed in the correct spot. Now we'll flip this book back over, and we're going to do the same process. Now in this particular case, I am going to make sure that we have proper alignment again. And the way I do this is I'll just lift these pages, and I'm just going to let this pin fall through to the next page. And I can see in between the pages as I do this. Now, there are a lot of ways to do what we're doing right here. But this, to me, is the safest way to prevent from tearing any of these pages. Remember, these pages are 70 years old. Even though they've been a little bit reconditioned by our process we've been working, over this the course of this video, we still want to be careful with them. We want to be delicate with them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue aligning everything from the edge. I wish you guys could see this, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to wear a helmet cam. So you have to trust me. Trust me, he says. All right. All right, I'm almost to the last wrap here. And we're through. Okay, so this wrap is now aligned. So I'll take another pin and make sure this just drops right on through carefully. And sure enough, there it is. Okay, so we're good on the alignment for that. So now we're going to work on the top staple. And I'm working upside down, so I'll make sure we get the correct orientation. All right, so here's our top staple. Again, we're going to do the same method. I'm going to be holding everything securely. I'm going to pull these two pins out. Okay, insert the staple at a 90-degree angle again. So it's all the way through. I'll rotate it up. And again, I'll turn the page sideways. And we are going to rotate it into the hole. This prevents the tearing of the pages. And I just kind of feel for it. Almost there. Let's try this one more. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Standard rules. All right, there we go. So this is all the way through. We'll turn this over, same process. We'll check the staple. Now I have a reinforcing hole right here. There was a fairly sizable chunk missing at the staple hole. That's why the whole center section was loose. We've replaced that. Again, I'm going to hold this vertical, and I'm going to rotate the staple to its old position, which I can still see. Okay, and that one, I'm going to do the same arching method again. We're going to slide this under, and we're going to push down on the tip of the staple. We don't want to mar the staple. That's why I'm using this particular tool. It's coated with a special coating, and it's not going to scratch anything. Okay, so press that down a little bit. Now it's perfectly aligned to the original staple position, and let's put this over here to protect it. And we are going to do the same thing now and rotate this one down, and we'll put it right into the same position that it used to be originally. There we go, almost there. Perfect. All right. Our book is now reassembled, and it's correct form factor. It's got all the pages. They've all been deacidified and cleaned. Everything looks phenomenal. I'm really pleased with, considering what we started with. It was horrible. It was dirty. It was torn. It was misrolled. So now we've given this book another gift of life. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put it back into the humidity chamber. We're going to give it a little bit more moisture, and then we're going to go ahead and press a proper spine into it. Yeah, we did a complete repair on this. Okay, here we are, the final finished product. Everything is clean. The spine roll has been completely removed. Everything looks beautiful. The back cover is lined up very nicely. And we still have the stain here, which we don't know what it is. It's a little bit lighter than it was. We still have, the pieces out of the cover. I didn't fill those in. I just left them out. And where I did fill them in, I cut them out. So it remained correct. So we did some conservation on this book. So everything's reattached. The pages look great. Everything's got that nice creamy color to it. The colors of the book look fantastic. The smaller page tears, like the one here, I didn't do anything with. I just left it. It's not going to be lead to any destruction to the book. It's nice and tight in here in the spine. All the wrinkles have been removed from all the pages. Very, very pleased. We're approaching the center section. So here we are in the center. The staples are nice and tight. The patinas on these just look fantastic. Let's turn this over and we'll look at the edges. Here's the bottom one. There's no staple tears, and you saw how we remove and reinsert the staples in a particular way so we don't do any damage to the actual holes. These holes were rebuilt from the back side. But all in all, I'm really pleased with the results, how this came out. Everything's nice. Color's nice. During the deacidification process, it does tend to remove some of the dirt and filth from the pages because it's pulling the tannins out, the acidic parts. Some of the pages did have page repairs done to them, as we saw in the previous videos, but they are really not that noticeable. They're done from the back side. But all in all, it's pretty good. This is a hole. However, what you don't see is there is a patch there. It basically goes around the hole to reinforce it so it doesn't tear any further. And then I took a scalpel and you cut the hole out because, again, we don't want fill. So this is a perfect candidate if anybody wants to get it graded. It's definitely a conserved book. I would personally grade this. I think I'll go back with what I said, probably 3.5 conserved. So there you have it. And that's our project. It's definitely a vast improvement from what it was. So I'm very pleased with it.